I'm Colin, and this is Phaedra. She's a Welsh filly, she's rising 5, and she's more commonly known as Ra. And today, we're going to try and show you how, by using just simple devices, we can desensitise a horse to having a rug put on its back. And I have to say straight away that Phaedra has been desensitised to rug, although she's not generally rugged. And also, usually I would prefer to work with her loose, but due to circumstances beyond my control, that's impossible today. Now, before we start anything and work, we have to understand that a horse needs to move. Movement to a horse is part of its very makeup, as much as food, sleep and water. So if we allow her to move as much as she feels comfortable with, she'll actually learn faster because she won't be trying to escape the body. Also, before you start this exercise, you need to have a fairly good relationship with your horse, because you're going to be touching her or him in places that you're not going to touch. So we know already, with our previous work with her, that she's completely comfortable at being touched anywhere on the body. Okay, we have that relationship in place. So how do we go about exercising a horse to a rug? Well, we start with a very small square of cloth like this. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? Very interesting, yeah. Why do we start with something this size? Well, we can scrunch it into a small ball, like this, and we can start to rub her with it. Okay? We rub her, and as we rub, we gently let the cloth unfold until she's comfortable with the cloth being anywhere on her body. There we are. That's a good girl. Okay. Now, although she's got her offside pressed up against the stable partition, and we're only doing this side with her, you have to work each side doing exactly the same, just gently desensitising her. Because you always have to remember that what a horse sees with this eye and what is acceptable to this eye may not be acceptable to the eye on the other side. Like every other horse in the world, she sees two completely different pictures that only overlap a few degrees at the front. And what might be acceptable and gentle on this side may not be seen the same way on the other side. So we have to work both on her near side and her off side. When she's comfortable with this being on her, we might then just spread it out on the back, like this. Just let them get used to the feeling of having something on her back. Then we might pull it further up her neck, over the withers, until once again she's comfortable with the cloth being on her. Now I must admit, I've actually bribed her this morning with some of her favourite haylage in her net. And you can see she's not bothered at all by this. She's actually far more concerned with what she's got to eat. It's very important when we work with horses that we don't flood them. And what do we mean by flooding? Well, if a horse can't escape a situation that it finds unpleasant or frightening, it tends to shut down mentally and it goes into a state of learned helplessness. To the untrained eye, a horse that's suffering from learned helplessness will appear to do whatever its human being or owner asks it. Okay? But that will be because it doesn't think it's got any other option. It's just learned that when we're around, it's helpless to do anything else. And for a little girl like Phaedra, or any other horse, that's the last thing we want. What we want her to be is an active participant in what we're trying to teach her. And when we work outside and she's free, she's allowed, during the training, to walk off, think things through, have a little mouthful of grass, and then come back. And if we allow her that freedom, she actually learns faster and retains more than if we try and tie her tightly. Because if we tie her, she's already thinking that she can't move, and she will think more about the fact that she's trapped than she will about what we're trying to teach her. Some trainers will tell you that to train a horse, you need a rope head collar, or a head collar that closes down on the nose to teach respect, or a fancy whip. Now, all these things are just basically a waste of money and time. To train a horse, any horse, you only need 3 things. And those things you carry with you all the time. They're your head, your hands, and your heart. And they will get you over any difficulty with any horse. Now, we've seen that she's now quite comfortable with this small cloth being draped over her. We can leave it on her, she's not bothered. We can wrap it around her legs. It can go on her chest, over her withers, down her back, around her hindquarters. She's completely at home with it. So what then is the next step? Well, we'll go and use it. This is the next step. Just a common or garden hand towel, or if your hands are a little small and you can't manage a towel, then go for a tea towel. Once again, we scrunch it up as tightly as we can into a ball, and we just gently repeat the exercises that we did with the duster. And once again, as we work with her, we just let it start to unfold. It becomes bigger, bigger. Once again, remembering to do both the near side and the off side, so that she becomes accustomed to the towel with both sides. And eventually the towel starts to unfold. And now she's okay with the towel. Hello Leah, you want to learn too? Good girl. Now because she's standing so quietly with the towel on her back, without a fuss, we'll give her a little reward. Oh, you're helping Leah, are you? You're going to drape the towel over Ryan's hindquarters. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much. It's always useful to have an assistant in these circumstances. Okay. There. That's the towel across her hindquarters, isn't it? Did you see that? Good. Then we'll just drape it over her withers. And she'll stand quietly, if we were breathing, and she'll get another reward. Then what we'll do, we'll just take it up here, drape it across her head. Because at some time, the rug is going to go across her head or her face. And she has to understand that no matter what happens, it's okay. Now, while we've got the towel in our hands, we can just use it like a bit. And just gently drape it around her chest, like that. And that will then reproduce the feel that she will feel when the rug is done up across her chest. Now we're rushing through this today, absolutely. But the thing about horse training is you don't need to rush. Never rush. Just take things gently, calmly. If it takes you 3 or 4 days or a lot more to do the duster size piece, and then another 3 or 4 days or a week to do the towel size piece, that's all fine. There's no strict timetable. We learn at her pace.